Bitcoin or the blockchain, it's like you'd have to close the internet. They're interrelated. In other words, you have a decentralized system that validates everything that happens, and as long as one of those nodes anywhere in the world is running, the system can't be closed. So I think that that's the first thing that I heard in this statement that really bothered me. And I think that there's a lot of institutions that are going to be very disrupted by the fact that money will be digitized.
But is the issue blockchain or is the issue Bitcoin? Because there are so many other cryptocurrencies that incorporate the blockchain that are not Bitcoin.
Yes.
That are not being used for necessarily illicit purposes or have the same type of anonymity attached to them that Bitcoin does.
Correct. So there's a newer type of cryptocurrency called Ethereum.
Right. And
Ethereum is very interesting. It's like if you imagine Bitcoin as being a gold coin, Ethereum is a coin that has a magic spell in it that when you transact with somebody else, that spell is unlocked, and that is computer code. So you can create smart contracts in this transaction that can replace real laws. As long as those laws can be digitized,
When you say can replace laws, what do you mean?
In other words, if there's a law that governs how I'm supposed to transact an asset or how that's supposed to be, how the IP chain, for example, is transferred to somebody else.
That intellectual property chain.
Exactly.
Okay.
Or even the fulfillment of services, if those services are digital, like a subscription to a newspaper. So that would be online.
Right.
So in other words, if you can create services, if you can create an entire media system, for example, that can be done in smart contracts on Ethereum, you can build an economy around that doesn't use.
This is very hard, I should say, for people to comprehend who are not involved in this. First of all, let me just ask you a very basic question. Do you own Bitcoin?
I own other cryptocurrencies.
You do?
Yes.
Which ones?
Ethereum.
Ethereum.
Yes.
So you're long Ethereum. Are you short Bitcoin?
No. I think that my feeling is there's more that Ethereum can do, which is why I want to invest in. In fact, my own system that I'm building around rendering is built on top of the Ethereum network, and that's why Ethereum has a lot of legs. You can build other types of services, even other currencies on top of
So
Ethereum.
take us back, because again, just because I don't think I understand. Last time you were here, we talked about augmented reality and using the blockchain to help with that. You said that's built on top of Ethereum, which I understood to be a currency. Am I misunderstanding?
Ethereum it's a little bit like Bitcoin in that you can essentially create tokens that are exchangeable. So in that sense, you can call it a currency. But you can actually write programs that are transacted when people validate the exchange of those currencies or those tokens. And the blockchain has a function that's underneath all of these systems, underneath Ethereum, underneath Bitcoin.
Which is effectively a ledger.
It's a ledger, exactly.
It just explains where this has come from and where it's going and what it can do.
Exactly. And it can't be altered, and it's very secure.
But this way, for you can do projects, right? And you know who owns that project, who owns that intellectual property.
Exactly.
It can be traced, right? But what is the importance of the viability of the cryptocurrencies to your business? I mean, if you're using the blockchain technology or the Ethereum technology, the technology underlying it, does it matter if Bitcoin continues to go higher, or if it crashes? Does it benefit? So it doesn't matter.
I mean, it's connected in the sense that obviously Bitcoin's a bellwether for how well the cryptocurrency community is doing, and if it does well, I think people have confidence in the system. But Ethereum is separate. So Ethereum is a system that we use because it's so programmable to build our service.
But I think Jamie Dimon, just to clarify what I think his thoughts were, was that he was looking at Bitcoin less blockchain, the currency itself, and his concern that governments ultimately just won't allow it. One of the things that's happening in China right now is the government's decided doesn't work. We can't have this anymore.
Yeah. Well, you don't have Facebook or Twitter in China, but that hasn't stopped those things from thriving and growing in other parts of the world. So when you have a global system or something...
Wouldn't it benefit, though, cryptocurrencies overall if they were not as volatile?
Well, that's true. If there was less volatility, it'd be safer. But ultimately, that volatility will diminish in time. As more and more people and more mainstream adoption of cryptocurrency happens, that volatility will diminish for sure.
Okay.